Sio, welcome. Happy to see everybody tonight. We're walking in the full moonlight with our Earthstock Wisdom Council members, and we're going to share our walk in these times so that when anybody else gets surprised by a hurricane like I did here in Asheville, North Carolina, there's something to reflect on from someone else's verb-based direct experience sharing. And so at this time, I'm going to ask my Selegi brother, Wisdom Council brother, SD Youngwolf, to come in and share a song if he wants to. Open us up in a good indigenous way. I do, while I'm giving him a little time to get ready for that, I do want to say that our tradition of calling on the river and the inhabitants of the land that we've done in most of our gatherings actually came home to me as, with the trees down, I could see the view of the river now, and the way I could tell time was watching the mist in the morning rise from the river. This is one of the oldest rivers. It flows to the north. It's a very sacred river. Unfortunately, it was the death of many in this hurricane, and I didn't know when I was seeing that mist rise that they were still searching for bodies, and how sacred that mist is, and still is. But it rises in the morning and it returns in the evening, about this time, or sometimes a little earlier. And now I can look out the window at the beauty, which is really the way of balancing the catastrophic feeling and the shock that we experience in these times. So SD, if you could please open up and share your experience of walking in these times.
Wada, Osio to everyone. It's good to see you here and to come together with you here. We're living in interesting times, and that is an old Chinese curse, as I understand it. But all the interesting times that we experience, I see as all the times that we are in are teachers, and we come through it, that we learn about it. And concerning the hurricane, our prayers go out to all affected. It has made me think a lot about that land where you are, Gail, about that's the land where I grew up, and have many memories from that time. And I was growing up there. And sometimes I feel like I would really like to be back in that area sometimes, but Taos has been my home here in New Mexico, in the Sangre de Cristos, for a long time now. But I'm thinking about everything that's going on in the world. I think I was having a discussion with a friend the other day, and we were talking about how we affect the weather. We affect everything is connected, and the way we live, the way we think, the way we feel, the way we pray, I think it's all a part of that, and it affects it. And so the time we're living in now is a time filled with great violence, unfortunately. So I've been thinking a lot about that. Why can't human beings live in harmony with one another? And I think if everyone really saw how connected we all are, it would be more possible. But what I've been thinking about lately about is identity, about how identity is the root of violence. Not that there's anything wrong with our identity per se, but I had a discussion with a Jewish woman. She couldn't comprehend what I was saying. And what I was trying to say was, we have many identities. But each identity we have, whether it be a father, a mother, a brother, a sister, a president, a worker, an artist, none of those identities encompass the whole of what we are. And they're like suits that we put on and we take off. I think anyone believing in reincarnation is kind of freeing like that we don't think that this is the only life. Because if I think of myself in a certain way, I am who I am, my people are the best, then anyone that doesn't fit that is not me. And it makes it more likely that there could be conflict between us. So tonight, Gail had said that our theme is replenishing. And it came, I remembered a story back when I was about probably 20 years old. And I went to Florida, I hitchhiked home. I came through the Cherokee Reservation. And I was completely broke. For some reason I had no money at all and I was hungry. And I remember finding an apple tree and sitting under that tree and eating apples. But when I was standing on the road with my thumb out on the Cherokee Reservation on Qualla boundary, I turned, looked behind me, here come a couple walking down the road. And I thought, boy, that man looks very familiar. And I realized who he was. He had been someone I didn't know real well, but we'd spent an evening together in deep conversation in Florida. And when we parted, the last words he said to me was, I know we will meet again because we're on the same wavelength. And he got closer, I realized, yes, that's him. And when he got up to us, he said, hey, good to see you. Come with us. We're going to buy you a meal. So that happened in the land of my people. I thought was really very cool. But I'm going to sing a song. It's a bit getting a bit chilly here now in Taos, and so I'm going to sing the bear song. And by the way, I haven't played this drum in a while, and it was kind of asking me to today for some time, because this drum I made it 30 years ago, and it's been around the world many times. Anito makwa oga binagaje. Anito makwa onija wana mishnan. Anito makwa oga binagaje. Anito makwa onija wana mishnan. So, as I was speaking with Gail, she had asked me about this concept of replenishing. So I remember a story of the little people. And, you know, the little people, most all tribes that I know of have stories of the little people. And they're kind of important with the Cherokee people. And there, as I understand, there are three types of little people. The dogwood, the laurel, and the rock people. The dogwood people are very helpful, and they will help people. And if they are in need, sometimes they will bring gifts to help them. The laurel people are mischievous, and they will play tricks, and the rock people are kind of mean, and so you be careful of those. But there's a story about a little girl who was sitting by the trail in the forest one day. A family of little people came walking along on the path, and usually people can't see them. They say you have to be very pure of heart to see the little people. But when they came by, she said, "Osio," and they all started. They said, "You mean you can see us? Usually people can't see us." So they conversed some, and the little people invited her to come to their home. And she followed them. And they came to a mountain, and the little man put his hands on the stone and opened up the door that opened up. And they went in, and there was a cave all filled with little people, and they were singing and dancing, making music. And so she danced for a while, and then they had a big pot over a fire, and it had a stew in it, invited her to eat. She sat there and ate. She noticed that people came and they took from that pot more and more, but it was never empty. It never went down, it always stayed full. And so she got tired and sleepy and lay down and went to sleep. Well, in the morning, the little man was there by her side and wished her good morning. And she said, "Can I go back to my home now?" And he said, "Once you've met the little people and you've been here, you can't go back." And she became very upset. She said, "Oh, well, my family will miss me. What will they do?" He said, well, I can see that you are a special little girl, and I can see your heart, that you are very kind. And because of the kind of person you are, you can go back. But before you go, make 3 wishes. They will be granted. And she said, well, my first wish, I saw that pot, that it never emptied of food. That would be something that would be good for my family, because they would never be hungry. And he said, granted. And for her second wish, she said, I want to always see the good in everyone I meet. He said, okay, it will be that way. What is your third wish? She said that I wish that no word that ever comes from my mouth will ever hurt anyone. So the little man said, oh, you have chosen very good wishes. You're a wise little girl. And so because of your kindness and your caring for others, you will have a beautiful life. And he took her, they opened the door of the mountain, took her to in a direction. He said, if you cross that stream and keep going, you will come to your home. And they said goodbye, and she crossed the stream, and when she looked back, the stream had vanished. But she became a great medicine woman and healer, and she was very much loved and honored by her people all of her life. So that's my story about replenishment. I think the other thing that I thought about replenishment is Frank Foolscrow, who's a great medicine man of the Lakota. I remember Frank Foolscrow. I never met him in person, but I remember the occupation of Wounded Knee, his coming on TV and telling the government they need to leave. But he was a great healer, and he said, he was asked what the source of his power was. And he said, to do what I do, I need to be a hollow bone. So he would be empty of everything. Then the spirit would fill his emptiness and with great healing power. So I guess that's all I have to say.
Ski. Sio. Wado, thank you so much, SD. I love the stories of the little people and saying goodbye to the bears. Soon we'll be going up. We're wondering if they're going to go up a little early this year with all the chaos and devastation. We're watching them and happy that you sing to them and that you share these beautiful stories with us. So thank you so much. Yes, so much love and gratitude to each one of you and all of you, and to Pamela for sharing and teching for us and making all this possible. Share in this way. Now I just want to sing my gratitude with the song that came from the spring that gave me water when I was without it for 15 days. Gave me a bath when I won't even try to tell you how much I needed and wanted to go down to that spring, even though it was freezing cold, to go down there and get clean and get washed in the new moon. And so join me in the song however you will, and let's just send our gratitude to the water and to each other and to all that we can do together and all that we are doing together. So much love and gratitude to all of you. Dunkashalare, Unshimalaye, Mitak Yeo, Unshimaka, Mani Ochone, Ilmaya Ye, ancestors, grandmothers, please share compassion on my relations. Grandmother, water is life. We are grateful. Dunkashalai, Unshimalaye, Mitagyo, Unshimaka, Maniyochoni, Pilmayaye. So, Donadoka, until again, much love to all of you. Yeah, hugs.